I was introduced to YouTube by my uncles.
One day after school, we were just chilling in her room and she was like, I have to upload something. And I was like, oh, let me see.
I was like, yeah, and you're now making money off of that?
I understood people earned money from this, but I didn't see it as a career for her.
Streaming, I was getting a little bit.
She did this. She did this on her own.
It's insane. Every day I think I'm like, how is this happening? Is this real? I'm Krystalogy, and this is where I came from. Woodbridge, Northern Virginia. I feel like it's kind of the outskirts of Northern Virginia, like right before you kind of get to the south of everything. It's not a small town, but it's a small town. When I was growing up, like the moves to go hang out or like go to the mall, if you had like some money to spare, we would like just get food, hang out there. It's just very chill here. It's a very calm town, like not much happens. Everyone is just kind of living a everyday life. Returning to Woodbridge and seeing my family and like some friends that are normally around here definitely helps me smile more because it's like a comfort area to me and it's home. I grew up a single parent home for a little while and I know like a lot of people who frequent the Boys and Girls Club, it's like important to have these resources that like allow you to like go work and like do the things you need to do and not have to worry about your kids.
So Krista was about 5 years old when we made that move. The job that I had at that moment wasn't enough to provide for my two children. I found an opportunity in Beijing and I took it. It was probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest decision I had to make.
I went from having my dad with me at all times, we lived together, to like not even close. That was really hard for me to grasp for a long time. My aunt, Tracy, and my dad were playing online GTA. She'll pass me the controller and I'll play and we're like on the call for hours, just going around, driving. It was genuine fun and like bonding that you wouldn't be able to get just by a normal conversation over the phone.
It became a ritual for us. So every weekend before they went to bed, they'd just get on the PlayStation with my sister. I would be on the other side, halfway around the world, and we would just play.
I was introduced to YouTube by my uncles. I don't know how I happened upon watching The Sims on YouTube, but there's like a bunch of Let's Plays. So I started watching them. Some like of the Sim videos were like even like little movies that people would make. So I wanted to do that like in a video game and just post it on YouTube because that's what people did. Got my laptop that was gifted to me by my grandfather. Borrow one of my dad's meeting mics. I like went into his office. One day I just did it. It was like The Sims 3 seasons. It was a new release. That's like how that kind of got going.
Hey guys, it's Krista here. Kisa Buddy, aka Kisa Buddy. And this is my first LP ever.
I understood people earned money from this, but I didn't see it as a career for her. Like it wasn't something that I was gonna say, oh, she's gonna be a gamer. That's not what I was looking for her to do. I was taking it more as a hobby. This is your hobby. You still need to graduate. You still need to get your degree.
I think it was like one day after school, we were just chilling in her room and she was like, this is what I do, or I have to upload something. And I was like, oh, let me see, like, this is interesting, And I was like, oh, wow, like, you're legit. Like, you actually film yourself and like, you have no care. Like, you just freely be yourself online.
We are gonna be unboxing Japan Crate and I'm really excited. See this as a mukbang type video. I think you just gotta kind of work with what you got. A lot of people start from like bare bones. I think what really shines is the person's personality. And like when people see that, like, okay, yeah, it's a little like crusty, but people are okay with like sticking with it if like what you are like putting out in the world is positive and something interesting to them. I want to follow my passions and this is it. You guys are it. This is what I want to do with my life. The ad revenue that you eventually start to make off of these videos, just put it to the side and then eventually it'll all pile up where you could upgrade your setup. Like I was able to, 14 years old, ended up like making me $300, $500 a month off of YouTube, which was a lot for me. And I put it aside and was able to buy my first PC.
Probably like the end of junior year into senior year, there was the way the class was divided, like we were facing other students, and that group was like talking about it. And then we're like, I think they're talking about you, Krista. Or they mentioned something to her, and she was like, oh crap, like people know. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, Sabrina, were you the one that shared? I was like, no. I said, it wasn't me. They probably found it, you know? I think they just got like a scent of it and then just ran with it. Like just looked her up online.
The reactions were actually quite contrary. Like people thought it was cool. By like senior year of high school, you know how you do the superlatives in the yearbook? I got voted to be like most famous.
I think she started to get very stressed out. We were kind of both going through a difficult time freshman year. From what I can remember, she wasn't finding joy in it anymore. So she was like, maybe I need to cut back, you know? I think it's also on top of us finding ourselves as young adults. She was dealing with issues. There was some kind of conflict within her.
I was able to kind of piece myself back together and be like, okay, I want to make content again. I miss it. I thought about Twitch.
Mr. JK, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome to the basement. I appreciate it so much.
Krista evolved, where you saw at the time of her YouTube videos where her content was more for her younger audience, and her content now started to evolve for a more mature audience.
I changed my name. I'm no longer Kiss a Bunny.
We've always supported Krista. She can always call on one of us and say, hey, I need this or I need help with that. And like I've told her, I said, if at any point in time this goes away, I said, we're not going anywhere. We're still here.
I always love getting like a call or random text to my family because usually it comes just like at the right moment. I'm going through something very stressful and it helps me just stress a lot less to hear from them.
We gave her that safety net. So whatever she decided to do once she graduated from school, she could do it and not worry about what would happen next.
Growing up, I actually didn't see women of color, especially like Black women, in this space.
She was like, I'm tired of seeing people that, are just male playing video games. Girls play video games too. I can show you guys, I can play video games.
Nice.
Last player standing.
Oh, I have 1 health.
Okay.
The better so.
At the end of like 2019, the potential of it being a job and like more than a hobby started to kind of come into my mind. I felt like this is a perfect opportunity for me to give this my all.
She told me she was gonna leave the internship and go do this full time. I was kind of like, what? I'm like, you have a nice internship and now you're gonna leave? I'm like, for me, it was kind of like nerve wracking, But I was like, well, I said, if you feel comfortable, that you can do this on your own and that you can fend for yourself, I said, go for it.
I got reached out to by Gen G to do a video with them. It went really well and they asked me to join their team.
Oh my God, I forgot like the one freaking super duper ridiculous amazing announcement that I almost freaking forgot. I joined Gen G.
It kind of just started to fall into place. I was able to continue more with content creation. I was growing because the pandemic, a lot of people was at home. They need things to watch. So like my viewer base was growing a lot more rapidly. By the end of the year, I got my first big sponsorship.
It was really surreal just to see her up on New York Times Square and to understand that, she did this. She did this on her own. She had achieved that level of recognition. She was representing our community. And that for me was a very, very proud moment. Not only does she get to represent the Latino community, but she also gets to represent the African American community.
We saw Krista's ad and then we were like applauding for Krista. It was kind of cool.
Right now, we are going to the Boys and Girls Club. We're going to be presenting them with a check from Cricket, which is going to be really exciting. For me, it's like really amazing and important because my mom was a single mother for a while, and resources like this would have been extremely helpful for us. On behalf of Cricket, I'm here to present you a check for $5,000 for the Boys and Girls Club.
For our community, this keeps our kids safe. It gives them opportunities, and it also gives them opportunity to explore the world around them while receiving education and skills, life skills, if you would, for surviving and learning in the changing world. So that's one of the more important things that we focus on here as it relates to our youth, is making sure that we equip them with the tools that they need to succeed.
I essentially just want a place where everyone can like hang and like have fun. I want it to be inclusive. It's like a friend group hanging out. Like it's always fun. Like we have our regulars, we have our lurkers.
Welcome to today's stream. How has your Tuesdays been?
It's funny because like my community isn't just like my Twitch community. I also have like a reaction channel, and I have a community on Instagram and on Twitter. It honestly astonishes me how long people have spent supporting me, especially since it's been 10 years. You know, people always come and go out your life, and that definitely brings a huge smile to my face.
You know, looking at the subscriber base as I pop it open, I look at the video and I go, wow, now she's got 127,000 subscribers here. Then she's branching off different channels.
In reality, you know, I know Krista, you know, she has her own plans and she's done so well on her own. I just want to be there to support her in whatever it is that she does.
For her now, she has to go above and beyond. She can't go back to, you know, just working a 9 to 5. She has to keep it elevated always.
I am constantly thinking like, this is crazy. Financial stability was always something that I wanted to achieve. Being in the position I am now, I'm definitely a lot less stressed about the financial hardships. It's unbelievable, and like I'm so grateful that I'm even like able to be in this position, because it's insane. Every day I think I'm like, how is this happening? Is this real? It feels like a cheat code or something.